because I looked at it and I saw this and I thought, wow, this is interesting. I need to take this to my advisors and see what they think. So I took it to the faculty and I said, hey, what, is this how do I analyze this? This is totally outside of my field, analyzing the orbital parameters of this planetoid, of this minor planet. Which we thought it was, and so he gave me the software and showed me how to use it, and I plotted the course, and then I took the planetary orbit data for this object, what we call ephemeris data, and we sent it to the minor planet cataloging group at Harvard. They got back to us a couple days later and said, congratulations, you have found a new minor planet that we don't have in our registry. So yeah, really exciting stuff. In most cases, there's 3 or 4 different names that you can give the object that you might have found, whether it be a planetoid or a minor planet. Most oftentimes we call it a minor planet, since planetoid's not necessarily truly recognized by the IUA, the International Astronomical Union. The definition we usually give it is a minor planet, which is to say an object that's orbiting the sun but does not contain the majority of the mass in the orbit that it travels around the sun. Therefore, it's not a full planet, just a kind of a minor one, or a dwarf planet if you get big enough, like Pluto or Ceres or Vesta, 2 of the asteroids in the asteroid belt. So that's what we found. We found a minor planet orbiting around the sun about 4 times the distance from the sun that the Earth is. So kind of out there. I mentioned Ceres and Vesta. Those are 2 asteroids, but they're big enough that we consider them to be dwarf planets or planetoids or planetesimals even, the beginning building blocks of what a planet would eventually become. Given more time and materials, those things would become planets, but no, we don't call all asteroids minor planets, just most of them. So long as it's not round in shape, it can be a minor planet, which most asteroids aren't round. Turns out the more we've developed technologies for capturing images of the nighttime sky with better cameras and better telescopes, the more these minor planets have been found and discovered. Started out with just a couple early on, and then it quickly ramped up into hundreds each year. So it's not too terribly hard to find it, although it might take a lot of time and dedication to find it. Some colleagues that I've worked with before, they've been looking for asteroids for years and haven't found any. And then, I happened to find one. So, interesting story there, finding this minor planet. We weren't even really looking for the minor planet. I had been working at the observatory to take a visual catalog of all of the Messier objects. The Messier objects, just so you know, were a catalog of stellar objects that were not comets. Cataloged back by a French astronomer by the name of Charles Messier, and he went through listing all the fuzzy objects in the sky that were not comets. And so I wanted to take pictures of them in color and have really nice images. So that night we were working on imaging the Crab Nebula, Messier Object 1. Spent all night working on it. Started around 9:30 in the evening. After getting the telescope set up and everything working right and focused, we started taking images of it, and we imaged it till about 6 a.m. when the sun started coming up. Didn't think anything else of it. We were looking for a nebula. We were looking at taking a picture of this nebula in color. Then just on a whim, like I always do, I got the data, looked at it, analyzed it a little bit, cleaned up the data, got rid of the noise. And then I stacked the images on top of each other, so that way I could have kind of a short film showing me everything that happened during the evening. And while I was watching this little bitty short 30-second film, I noticed that there was a star that began to move across the field of view. Of course, it's moving really slow because I've taken several hours worth of images, and so I knew obviously it can't be a satellite, obviously it can't be a space station or the shuttle, it's got to be something more exotic, maybe a minor planet or a planetoid or something like that. So totally by accident, not even looking for one.